Oh, foresty vibe. Where am I at? Don't even ask me. Some forest that I just walked to. First day I'm out of the house, sitting all day on the laptop. And you also read the title. I'm gonna move out into the shade here. You've read the title, right? And the title is simple. Why do courses, communities, coaching, why does that not change your students' lives? Very simple explanation in my opinion, because I have been talking to a lot of experts in the space, right? Influencers, creators. We're talking, traders, agency owners, even the OFM guys. I've got a few, what else? Yeah, mainly quite a few traders actually. I've spoken with some content guys, some cinematic film guys, some more like videographers type people. And the conclusion all came the same, right? Conclusion is very simple. It's like no one's having fun selling courses. You get me? No one enjoys selling communities, right? The fulfillment that comes with that side of things too, no one enjoys that, right? Courses just feels unfulfilling. I was talking with a guy, he's sold courses since 2020 for 5 years now. He's made over multiple six figures. He's not happy with it. When I bring up my ideas to him, he goes, "Oh my Lord, that's awesome, right? That's great. I love this model. This just makes sense. All the things that you've said in the Loom, those are the exact reasons why I hate doing courses, right? So if you're someone, again, as a creator, I thought I just saw a bear. My bad. If you're an expert, right? If you're an influencer, if you're a business coach, if you're a consultant, whatnot. Right? For one, coaching and mentorships, one-on-ones, they still do work, right? With the proper structure. But with what I'm doing, it becomes a total money printing machine, right? A money printing machine. Because what I do, which I haven't really publicly put that much out there yet, is more on that like software and app side of things, as far as giving a borderline physical tool to your students, or even using it internally to your team, right? There's been teams and internal teams that I've made an onboarding tool for. I played around with that. So it's almost like you give them that tool, you do the build out, right? And you give them that tool and they use that tool to onboard their clients, right? In a seamless process. So there's no, extra unnecessary steps. Like, clients know exactly where to go. They get all the resources, all the onboarding information given to them once they're onboarded. So this is more of an app / software / tool for agency type of clients' businesses, right? Because that alleviates a huge problem, a massive one, right? And that agency can also sell that tool to other agencies if they really want to, right? So bring it to market. Again, you can either, right, you can bring it to market if you want to, if you have a big audience, right? Like, you probably selling courses in, communities and coaching, right? Because you have a huge audience, right? You built that up. I'm sure you don't want to burn out all your, fry your whole following. And honestly, again, give them some true impact, like something they can, as I've said, borderline physically use. Because what are courses, communities, and coaching? That's borderline air, right? You're selling. That's why it's called info, right? It's air, right? Okay, maybe a few Google Docs or Google Sheets, right? Let's be real here. And that's about it, right? They don't have an actual tool they, physically pay for or depend on or really need that solves a crucial, massive problem, right? Whether it's a consumer app, right? So something that can go to, iOS, Google Play, App Store, right? Or it's a software web app, right? Something you use on your laptop, desktop, computer, right? So again, the solution is simple. It's stop selling courses now, stop selling communities. That has been extinct, right? Communities were probably alive for what, about 2 years, year and a half? I'm thinking around 2 years, closer probably. But they're extinct. No one wants to fulfill that type of stuff, right? Okay, courses, right? Video courses. I mean, that has been a thing since like 2015, 16. I'm sure that's been dead, and it is dying, right? And you obviously notice the market's like hyper awareness towards this type of stuff. Oh, courses, oh, reply free course, whatever, like free or not free. As soon as people see that, they lose that trust, right? But if you're like, hey, you know, download this tool or free tool down below, and then you have like a premium plan, think about the impact of that, right? And cash flow and a potential exit. Like, you're building an actual business, right? Courses, communities, coaching, none of that is an actual business. It's all in the air, right? And I have clients that I'm still managing a lot of the stuff with my, CEO, I guess, partner, you could say. He's managing a lot of the fulfillment, service delivery, and all that. I'm just focused on client acquisition, just as I don't want to spend time doing that type of stuff, and I don't find it fulfilling, right? As someone who managed and done the whole like growth operator stuff, it's just unfulfilling. It feels pointless, right? It feels like you're literally playing with air balloons, if you think about it that way. And so, yeah, software and apps is what I found personally to create way more impact. Again, consumer apps, or it could be, B2B type apps, right? Software, tools, or development. I mean, I know coaches, not coaches, but I know a guy who sells to coaches and consultants on LinkedIn, a LinkedIn outreach tool for $8K one time. So they pay $8K, he puts in their information, and he starts the outreach tool. That's it. All they got to do is wait on clients. That's a lead acquisition method, right? And obviously LinkedIn coaches, consultants, they need that, right? They also typically have, quite good money on them. So 8K offer is like absolutely perfect, right? So this also shows that apps and software don't have to be low ticket, $6 apps, $20 apps, right? This could be something, $50 to $100, right? Like an actual tool. Think about Go High Level, right? I'm sure I've mentioned this example a few times in my videos if you've seen it, but Go High Level makes $7 million a month, right? Why? It's not because they're the best tool. It's mostly because, it's just adaptive to local businesses, agency services, right? Even SaaS and software type businesses. And obviously, the coaching people, right? They use High Level. Even though, again, High Level is not the best, in my personal opinion, type of software. It does have a lot of advanced features and cool features. I wouldn't say it's necessarily as adaptive as something like Close CRM, which I prefer much better. But yeah, so I've stopped acquisition for all like growth operating, like, hey, I'll build you a course business and that kind of thing. Hey, do you sell one-on-one mentorship? Like that kind of stuff. It's just, and again, I don't want to scare you away now. And I'm not saying, buy my business model. I'm just giving you a perspective here and a pivot for creators, experts, or, coaches or people that have sold info, previously. Like, it just makes sense having that adaptive, dynamic, real, borderline physical tool that your students could use, right? Again, whether it's internal for your team, whether it's external as it goes to market because you have a huge audience, that's something I'm actually currently working on with a few experts and creators on actual software build-outs. So these are software apps and tools that are backed by creators, right? Like actual creators. So think about it as growth operating, right? You are looking for a creator, expert, business owner, founder, but you're more so, you're giving them that tool, right? You're giving them the build out, right? And obviously if you don't know these things, you don't know the market, you don't know how to use, different software and AI and all this other stuff, don't get into it because you don't know it. But it's most definitely a way more of a fulfilling and impactful type of process, I'd say, rather than growth operating. Because again, as I've seen with a lot of experts I've talked to over the past week, I've had basically 2-3 calls a day for this type of stuff. I'm seeing huge demand. I'm seeing huge, potential, and more importantly, the opinions of these people really speak to me, because it's almost like I'm saying exactly what they've been feeling inside, right? It's like course seller, coaching seller. Why would you sell a course if you're already, wealthy, build an actual business, or, that sort of stuff. And obviously when the coaching and the courses, right, makes you more money than you make in your actual business, that becomes an even bigger issue, because at that point you're just labeled a, course business, and, you just feel truly unauthentic to yourself. So that's personally my pivot, and that I'm doing, right, with the creators and experts that I reach out to, if you're interested about this, you can check out my Instagram and then DM me system. I don't have an automation set up for this. I actually had a few people reach out to me. One guy had 300 something K on his Instagram. Another guy had, I think it was more of a business, they had a few thousand. But it's not an automation. I actually reach out, I send you a voice note and everything like that, because I'm doing this just on a select few basis, building out true exit potential type of apps, software, and tools. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this pivot. Let me know down in the comments, by the way, what you think about this whole thing. And my eye's tweaking because half my contact lens is ripped. So that being said, I'll see you in the next one.